Everything's good. Has been a minute since we used the setup, but I
Well,
think I'm able.
I got Nightbot activated, so it was on a rampage this morning.
What time people up?
Oh yeah, it was timing people out. It was hilarious. I'm like, man, this thing is it's just going ham.
I was saying, yeah, you got to make sure you set it right when you do it. Like me personally, I just tell it to remind people of
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was doing. So I
Mm.
needed to put out ads and stuff like that. So I need to go back to the Nightbot site.
Yeah, see, that's the easy one. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, we are live, are we not? Yes, we are. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to the RGT Army in the chat. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Happy New Year to you all. It is January 3rd, 2020. A new decade awaits us. A new era of gaming is definitely ahead of us, and we got so much more to look forward to. It ain't even funny. To everybody that was here patiently waiting, I do appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Definitely do us a huge favor to share the stream around. We really do appreciate it. It allows us to get more gamers in here, so we can definitely share the conversation, have some fun. So far, the panel is kind of short for this episode, but granted, don't worry. I'll have more people on board. Hopefully, when Foxy gets back, I'm not sure when he gets back, but we'll definitely have everybody back on board once everybody gets back from, obviously, vacation. It's a new decade. But for everybody that's here, for everybody that's new, welcome. It's Big Cloud Gaming. I'm here with one of my hosts here, Mr. Craig Harris. Why don't you shout yourself out, brother?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for the vine. Happy New Year, Big Cloud. Shout out to everybody in the chat. See Pitch Black there, Tommy Boy 4550. This everybody waiting patiently. And yeah, Big Cloud got antsy and wanted to come on early
Oh, yeah,
here. So
man.
shout out, yeah, shout out to everybody here. Ra's Al Ghul was in here, so because everybody needs to be on their toes. So.
Well, we are early, so now it's 5 o'clock. Let's go ahead and start this show. Put that video up for you guys. So let's get into it, man. There was a lot to go over this week. I've been busy. I've been a busy soul, let me tell you. But there is so much to go over, and I got so much other stuff planned for you guys. But more on that later. Now, for yesterday, I did have a stream planned. Unfortunately, we had to reschedule, so my special guest for that stream will be here Saturday. Okay, that stream will be on Saturday. But if you follow me on Twitter, then I guess the beans have already been spilled of who the special guest was. Shout out to Dawn. She kept hitting me up like left and right, like, who is your special guest? You got to tell me. I'm like, oh God, and then it was the beans were spoiled today, and it was actually Mooch. So me and Mooch will be live with you guys Saturday on the channel. I'll be live on Crossfire after RGT. So if you guys want to go check, support us over there on the Crossfire podcast, I'll be over there for sure. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the show. Let's get into this news slot to go over, and we're gonna have some fun doing it. So let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? PlayStation 5 for CES 2020. Now, this has been something that's been going around for a minute. It has definitely been, like, fuel has been added to this fire. I personally did videos on it. I personally talked about it. And like I said in my video, for those of you that watched it, shout out to everybody who's been supporting the videos. I said it in the very video. I don't necessarily believe that the PS5 is going to be there physically, as like, we're going to have like a legit event where it's going to be showcased. No, I don't think it's going to be there physically. What I do believe is that we're going to get the announcement for the actual reveal, which will be sometime in February. That's where we're going to get PlayStation 5 in all its entirety. But that's how I kind of felt on the topic. What you think about it? CES.
I think, all right, I don't think that it'll be there. I think that they may have a general announcement on that, like an official statement that, yes, we are working on the PS5, and you may get a little bit of snippet of what the consoles are capable of through AMD, whose stock hit $50 yesterday. So I certainly hope when you all took my advice to buy it at 18, last year, you all took my advice, because that's what I bought my shares. But so I don't think it'll be there. I just don't think it's a good idea to show it without gameplay. Right. I just, showing it and showing what it's going to look like. I mean, aesthetically, no. I just much rather see it running something. I mean, even that demo, the tech demo they showed their shareholders when with Spider-Man, loading on their SSD drive. Show that. I mean, they can just, show something like that.
Well,
that way
to bounce off of what you just said, gameplay. Remember, Cory Barlog is there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fine.
A lot of thoughts are going around that Cory Barlog might show God of War running on the system, right? And that's like a tech demo for CES. Obviously, this is a technical or a tech-based show, right? We're showing off the specifications and stuff. So it makes sense to show all that running on it, like we saw Spider-Man with the faster load times, faster movements, faster input. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff.
Yeah.
I can see that being a showcase for Cory.
Well, now I understand that there's going to be. I think it will be shown privately.
Yes.
I think there will be people there to see some things privately, but a public showing, I agree. If they're going to do something, it needs to have its own announcement. But maybe through AMD, we get some things as far as their RDNA stuff and how they're putting the wood to Intel to the point where people are mocking Intel because of what AMD is doing to them, and how they're about to take on NVIDIA with their new GPUs. But I just I'm to the point now where I understand what the PS5 is capable of, and I'm not worried about anything else at this point. I understand what they're trying to do. I understand the power base that they're going for. Shout out to Foxy Games UK. I agree with him. There's things I've been told behind the scenes that there's 2 form factors that they're working on. So at the end of the day, I'm just more worried that there's people seems like working themselves into a frenzy only to be let down. But we'll have to wait and see.
Shout out to shout out to the RGT Army standing strong, 143 already up in here. Good to see you guys. Welcome. What's up, Overdone? Everybody else saying what's up. Happy New Year. We got 2 of our panelists jumped in here. We got Big Money. What's up, brother?
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Big Money?
What's up,
fam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
You too, man.
All right. We got our special guest. Now, our special guest is obviously one of the panelists that I'm on. Well, I'm on his show as a panelist for the Salty Gaming Podcast, Mr. Salty Gaming. What's up?
Hey, what's up? Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Salty? How you doing?
Good. See, the funny thing is I hopped in the Discord and I had no idea we were live. So good thing I didn't say shit. I mean, I was just quiet. It's cool, man.
I hate Discord.
It's good, man. Good to see you.
I said I hate Discord.
You hate Discord? Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I hate Discord, man. I swear I do, man. I do not know how to work Discord at all.
Well, I hate, what I hate is Origins app. What does it say? Origins app. It took me like 3 launches just to get this game to load correctly this afternoon.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate that shit. Fix that. Y'all are listening. But yeah. I don't care for it either. There's too many buttons to push.
What were you guys talking about before we hopped in?
So let's backtrack on what we were talking about. We were talking about CES 2020. Sony's possibly showcasing PlayStation 5 for CES 2020. Now, granted, like I said in my video, I don't expect the actual system to be here. What I expect is the announcement, kind of similar to how they revealed their sales figures last year at CES with PlayStation 4. You remember that? They had like the little teleprompter and it just said, hey, it sold this amount. I expect them to do something like that for PS5 where it's like, this is where the event's going to happen. It's going to happen February 20th, 14th, whatever, next month. That's what I'm expecting from them in terms of PS5 related. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I don't know. We were talking about this last night, right? It's a different type of gaming scene than it was when systems launched, in 2013. Stuff isn't traditional anymore. E3's kind of losing that wow factor. Everybody seems to be doing their own shows now. You look at PlayStation, they did articles on Wired and that just went viral, right? Just little snippets. So I don't think traditional is necessarily what we're going to see from now on, especially with all these companies doing different things. And I don't think PlayStation is reacting based off of what Microsoft did. It was shocking what they did, right? It's out of left field, but like, do they feel pressure to do stuff? I don't think so. I think if anything is done at CES, it's been planned for a while, right? I feel like They're not going to just pull it out of their ass and be like, "Hey, let's reveal the PlayStation 5 at CES. Hey, that's a good idea." And they just do it like a week, no plans, whatever. But I always say this. It's a saying I always say, man, where there's smoke, there's fire. And we've gotten so many hints, from the Sony website, the Corey Barlog being there. Like, why? Why would
thumbing up the article that said that PS5 was being? I mean, there's so many subtle hints.
Exactly. So, why would he even? I understand he's in the industry, but it's his first CES. He's had chances multiple times to go to CESs before. So why specifically would he choose this one? He didn't really say.
Year.
He said this is his first one.
This is his first
one. Oh, I thought he was there last year.
No, he didn't go to CES.
All right, well, I stand correct. That's fine. I thought he went last year after they won. After they won Game of the Year for God.
Yeah, so you look at it from his perspective, right? Like he's never been to these things, and yet he's going, and then he's liking some a tweet that's talking about the PlayStation 5, and then there's the Sony website has what did they have? The future's coming. The future's coming on their website.
Yeah, they have 8K TV. They're going to show that. They have to do ray tracing with the 3D audio that they're going to have. 3D audio is a new thing. It's supposed to be on the floor. Samsung is there. They started the 8K Association.
Yeah.
So all that is coming up. Sony and LG not being in the 8K Association. That's a big deal right now. That's a huge deal. But look, if they show it, they show it. But to me, why would they show it? Then have AMD, who's going to give the money shot thing. What are they going to talk about? They brought up both the Xbox and the PlayStation last year. But if they show it, they show it. It's I don't think they are. I think they will make an official announcement that they're working on it, but that we're not going to see anything until this February event.
This is like Sony what Sony does with their hardware is they always treat it with like a special event type of thing. This is a big deal for them, which is the next gen system. So yeah, again, February, it definitely seems like that's the go, that's the move right now, especially when we talking about pre-orders for March and stuff like that too. That's being leaked around. So February more than likely is going to be the actual show, but this one right here, CES, is just more likely just going to be our announcement. Like, hey guys, tune in. February blank, and then you'll have that's what I said too in the video. Shout out to Eddie Lopez, $2 super chat. He says, "Sup, Ryan? I feel like a game tease will be shown at CES." I'm guessing he's talking about CES. That could actually be a thing.
Right.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
You could have a lot of hurt people on Tuesday. That's why I would just stay away from it. I've seen a lot of people just saying, let it happen. I mean, Sony is in a position where they have to get ready to start marketing MLB The Show. They have to get ready to start marketing Final Fantasy VII. That is where they're at right now. The last time was Part 2. Everybody seems to forget about that. That's going to start. That marketing starts ramping up in about 60 days. So
I got a question. I'm sorry. When is the show? The time, the actual time.
So the CES show will be around 8 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on Tuesday. But here's the trick. I was going to wait for everybody to get their input for me to add on to this. But if you guys remember, AMD Showcase is on the 6th, where they're showing off their new RDNA technology for their cards. Now, supposedly Microsoft was going to be there in attendance. Like Phil Spencer was going to be there in attendance to talk about the specs, if I remember correctly, for Xbox Series X. So I'm just wondering if the embargo would be lifted after the 6th and Sony would release something. But again, that right there, I doubt it. They would do it for CES. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they would do it for CES. That would be for its own separate event. But
so Phil Spencer is supposed to be there to talk about their
TVs does it take to run a PS5?
I mean, what?
Oh, snap. Look who jumped in here. What's up, brother?
What's up, Typer 80? Yeah, man. What's up, partner?
Well, I think you got a lot of people who don't understand, and this is why I use the PC benchmark. There's people in the chat. You got to understand that the Vegas 64 is 13 point something T-flops, yet the AMD 5700 XT is like 9.6 or 7, and it's outperforming it. So you all got to understand that the way Navi does its Navi is a different architecture than GCN. So that's all I can really just keep reminding people. Like, go to the PC benchmark, put that in yourself. Put those specs in yourself, and you will constantly see that the RDNA architecture is outperforming the GCN. You don't need 12 T-flops of raw power to get that type of performance.
Yeah.
Not with AMD. Now with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA's got something they just announced that's like 40 to 50% more efficient. That's going to be coming. So these people got to kind of back down and just wait. I mean, everybody will know something here probably in the next 6 weeks.
Hey Craig, you know what that whole thing is about, bro? Because don't nobody really 90% of the gaming community don't even know what the fuck a teraflop is. The only thing they know is 12 is higher than 9. That's the only thing people know. That's it.
Well, no, you're right. You're right about that. Yeah, and the misinformation campaign is not directed towards you, me, anybody on this podcast. It's directed towards the people who are going to be buying things. Because understand
the fanboys, Craig.
Yeah,
the fanboys.
The people directing the misinformation that's coming out, all the leaks and things like that. These people are still butthurt, thinking that the reason why the PlayStation beat the Xbox and it crushed them is because of people didn't understand what Xbox was trying to do. The media turned on Xbox. Just moist ass bullshit coming out of their mouth. So they have this misinformation campaign.
Remember the power? Well, I've been hearing a new thing now. So apparently the power narrative, right? As of late, the power narrative was over. Like basically, a lot of people believe that because Microsoft has the power narrative now, that everything will go back to them dominating the gen. And I'm like, well, again,
let me reiterate.
You need the games to do that particular thing. Sure, you're looking better right now at the start, but really the translation of that power has got to be the games. You can't just rely on third-party games here. We learned that lesson the hard way this gen.
You know what's the sad part though, Bit? If we can recall back to 2002, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't the original Xbox rated at 720p before even anything else that was on the market?
Yes, it was below that, yeah.
And a 516p console, which was the PS2, still outperformed it in sales and outdid it with just content alone. So this whole thing about power. What's power without content? What's power without games that are going to make you a staple front for the industry?
Carlos, what evidence does anybody have that the Xbox is more powerful?
No, it's all words,
this is what I'm gathering. Everybody's basically
taking trails.
Yeah, they're going back to what Phil Spencer said before. Remember, he stated that Xbox Series X was like 2 times more powerful than Xbox
One X GPU, and then CPU is 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
they were going off of that.
Spencer,
so they were going, naturally, it's 12 because it's 2 times more powerful than that.
But Phil Spencer just walked out on stage and said, "We're creating the world's most powerful Xbox." He didn't say we have. He didn't say anything about continuing being the world's most powerful console.
Let's just
need to wait. People need to wait and see what's going to happen.
Let's just say it was 9 teraflops. Here's the thing. I think there's a lot of buzzwords being thrown out there, and we cannot stray from the fact that the U.S. is barely at 50% adoption rate for 4K TVs. I just looked it up, right? I could source that information, okay?
No, you're right about that.
The general population, half of them are still using HD TVs, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're talking about the use of these GPUs, and there's a term called it's like you want to put as much power in there, right? There's some people out there that bought a 2080 Ti and put it in their computer, and all they do is surf the internet. Now, are they getting any benefits out of the computer they bought? No, but they wanted the most powerful shit, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, what were we told by Mark Cerny how many teraflops you need to get that 4K, true 4K, right? He said 8. The 8 is that minimum. So if you're shooting for that 4K 60 frames per second, I think this is the sweet spot, because you guys, the CPU was an extreme bottleneck.
That was the real reason we screwed over games. Yeah.
This whole gen has been screwed over by some shit CPU.
Yes.
It wasn't improved. in the PlayStation Pro. It wasn't improved in the Xbox One X, and that's the bottleneck. I mean, when you have a bottleneck, it hampers everything these developers could do. So imagine taking a CPU that sucks, right, and giving you 4 times the power in your CPU, and that's just the CPU. Imagine what you can do as a developer there. And not only that, you're getting twice the GPU power than the Xbox One X. And I own an Xbox One X, and it does do 4K. It's done, true 4K on some games, and it looks fantastic. It's going to have twice that power plus 4 times the CPU, and you're not even mentioning the RAM or the SSD drives. I mean, we got to put this in perspective, because before everybody went extreme to this 12 teraflop shit, we were looking at 10. If you would have asked any person, right, 6 months ago, a year ago, what do you think the target's going to be for these consoles? I think it's going to be around 10.
Everybody said 10
teraflops, right?
Everybody said 10.
10.
Yeah, 10
Nobody was saying 13 or 12 or 14.
Right.
I mean, weirdos were saying that, but then, people were saying some stuff, and it's just like PlayStation's made it clear that they want the price. They want to have the PlayStation 4 owners have a reason to move up, and price has always been an issue with console owners, right? Why is the Switch? Why is the Switch selling gangbusters? Because the entry point is so low, right?
And
$300.
Well, the games.
And the games as well. Yeah, right.
But yeah, Mark Cerny. This for people to understand is Mark Cerny was just asked, and he said in theory, just him guessing, you would need a little close to 8. Now AMD got 4K native. Let me make this clear: not 4K dynamic or checkerboarding. They got 4K native 30 FPS with 7.4 T-flop. Yeah. So that's that. I mean, and Mark Cerny was just guessing. He was just doing kind of like a theory craft. But in order for them to do, I agree in GCN, yes, but Navi is much more efficient, and you don't need, like you all were just saying, 10 T-flops. 10 T-flops of Navi, it may compute out to 12 to 13 in GCN. You're still going to get the performance of, like you were saying, Salty. I agree with you. Your adoption rate about the 4K TVs is spot on. Yeah. Just remember, 4K TVs are still considered high def, but not at the end of it. But you're right. No, I mean, you're right. I'm not trying to be facetious there. You are correct about that. I just find it interesting that Phil Spencer had no problem in 2016 at E3. Saying, and I'm quoting him here, you will be gaming on the most powerful console ever, versus 2019, where he came out and said, we're making the most powerful Xbox.
Yeah, ever. I'm gonna add on to what you just said right there. Let me get the super chat real quick for a second. Andrew Wilkins, $5 super chat. He says, what evidence do Xlux have to say that Sony copied Nintendo and Microsoft? Sony was first to have a camera, VR streaming, and free games with subscription. That's what he said. Now, to add on to what you said there, if I remember correctly, there was pretty much some insiders, right? There was insiders all pretty much putting all their they're putting all their faith that the specifications that were leaked as of late, that everybody's going crazy over, the 9.2 teraflops, is actually not true, and that Series X and PS5 are still going to be very similar. Now, we heard this numerous times, did we not, that both are going to be very similar in terms of power?
We said this so many times.
Yeah, we said this last year. Heard this too, and we're like, okay, we're very similar. Now, if it is, let's pay attention to this, right? Let's keep this in mind. If it is the exact same, let's say, or actually, no, not if it's not the exact same. Let's go back to the 9.2 teraflops. If it's 9.2 teraflops, when you factor in the fact that Sony can have 16 gigabytes of RAM, this system can easily be $399.
Really?
Easily. This could be easily $399 for them.
This is the RAM prices have gone down.
RAM prices down, and this system can look, can easily be hit that $399 price point. Also, keep in mind too, the reason why a lot of people believe that this is it is because of the GPU modes. Remember, you have Gen 2 to Gen 0, right? Gen 2 would represents Zen 2, which is what PS5 games are running off of. It has GDR6 RAM, so it's running on Gen 2, which is the PS5 mode right there. Then you got Gen 1 and you got Gen 0. Gen 1 and 0 represents the base PS4 and PS4 Pro. So that's why a lot of people believe that that's actually true. And again, I'm not here to tell you that it isn't, but I don't know. It's hard for me to really say at this point.
Let me ask the panel this. Why are people going with the whole 9.2 thing? I saw people saying, it was on Twitter. I mean, again, they're moist, but they were saying it wasn't even going to have ray tracing, even though Mark Cerny said it would have hardware-based ray tracing, and so did Lisa Su, and she's in charge of helping design the damn console. What I'm trying to tell people is that there's a misinformation campaign. It's not targeted towards anybody here in this chat. It is targeted toward the people walking in casually to say, well, I'm not for sure what the PlayStation is going to have, so I'm going to get an Xbox. That's what this is all about. This is a massive misinformation campaign. I mean, they're talking about specs that leaked from March and May of 2019. Do they not understand that the form factors have changed?
I'll tell you one thing. For their hope, like for their sake, because the way dudes have just been like so ridiculous about the whole thing. Like I'm talking dudes have just been like on a tirade. Like you'd be surprised. Like I remember I talked about my video was short and sweet, right? I had like 5 dudes putting the damn Digital Foundry video in there. I'm like, okay. Like
that's speculation.
Okay.
I mean,
Digital Foundry does in the video that he doesn't know.
You guys want to know the funny part? What the speculation stirs?
False
clicks.
What does speculation motivate?
False hype at this point.
And that's exactly what the hype is all about. So from a marketing standpoint, if you build fake hype, if you build it up just more than enough so that the morons can actually go out and say whatever comes to their mind, then you're building that hype, and that translates into, okay, what console choice do I prefer? Do I prefer the one that's going to have the least amount of T-flops or the one that has the most? And this is what the marketing strategy is in terms of fanboy logic. The person that wants the more T-flops is going to go towards and gravitates the Xbox Series X.
Exactly.
Now I'm seeing dude. Okay, this dude right here, private is what I'm talking about. This BK dude. So he said that they're going to dog walk Sony. And that's Microsoft has the mind share. I've been hearing this for a minute. Just because Microsoft showed their console first does not mean they have the mind share at all.
What does mind share even mean?
Meaning that they're the most talked about.
Hey, I thought it was something like new.
It's mind share. Like basically, what he's referring to in terms of mind share. This is the new buzzword again. Mind share is the fact that Microsoft has more people talking about them right now. But granted, Sony hasn't released their console yet, or any details.
Well, not only that, do you not understand that people?
Yo, BK Betstyle. Let me reiterate something to BK Betstyle. Bro, do you even know?
I'm right there with you, bro. What the hell is that dude talking about?
That's not. Do you even know what a compute is in terms of graphical processing?
I don't.
Hell no. I can guarantee you they don't. I can guarantee you.
He's fine. I mean, look at the way he's replying. He says, "Why would they? They're weak. They're weak."
I mean, this dude is
either you just started gaming, my brother, or you just
let me ask hella troll in the damn chat,
that's
bro.
A troll. Hey, shout out to the one troll. Hey, no. Shout out to the one troll. I'm not gonna mess with you because it's hard enough being you. Okay, it's hard enough being you. But shout out to the one troll that came out for the RGT Army. Hey, shout out to you. What's up, Jess?
Well, I mean, right now, doesn't the Xbox X or Xbox Scorpio have 5.7 T-flops, and it's still getting mocked by the PlayStation Pro? Last time I checked, the Modern Warfare game. The Modern Warfare game. Hold on, the Modern Warfare game looks and runs better on the PlayStation. I mean, what are we doing in here, BK?
Damn, Craig.
I mean, that's according to your white zaddy. That's according to white zaddy. Do not come at me with that. White Zaddy, hold on. White Zaddy gave Horizon Zero Dawn top game, okay, and then it just gave White Zaddy gave it to that other game, the Kojima game, Death Stranding, and I'm pretty sure that those games aren't on Xbox. And didn't Gears of War come out this year or last year? And Zaddy did not say nothing about it. They still gave it to somebody else, and Gears had next generation technique in it. So that's a trash ass console. You got to take your shit somewhere else, man. So,
look who's in the chat. What's up? What's up, Smooth?
12 teraflops over 9 teraflops, man. They don't even care about they just know that it's 12 and ours is 9.
You're right. I agree.
Listen, the thing I be trying to get to understand, these people to understand, man, like y'all do know that Sony and Microsoft they both working with AMD. They gonna do, what makes you think that across the hall they got somebody at AMD working on a 12 teraflop system, and then right across the next hall somebody working on a 9 point? It's gonna be about the same. It's gonna be about 80% of what's in the Xbox Series X is gonna be in the PlayStation 5, man. That shit almost going to be the same.
The content
that shit is going to be the same.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'd rather, cover my bases, as they say in the podcasting realm, instead of like going hardcore and saying it could never happen. This is not true. What if it is? I mean, would it be the end of the world? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, if you plan on it being 9.2 and it's 12, who cares, right? I mean, it's different, right? So there's different things happening. Digital Foundry pointed out some interesting things when they're talking about this, because they referred to some of the leaks before. They came from NeoGAF and this and that. Mm-hmm. Like, these leaks actually came from AMD's labs, dude. Like, you look at, like, you follow the little breadcrumbs to see where it came from. Like, this is not just pulled out of someone's ass. Like, these numbers came from AMD's labs themselves. So sorry about the background.
You know what I asked you about that though, Salty?
Yeah.
The thing is that they came out with this and they say that it's from AMD labs, but these consoles, they're probably coming out about the same time. In 2013, they came out like a week apart?
It was like a week apart.
This time it's probably gonna be about 2 or 3 weeks apart. How did they get so much information on this, but they didn't get the same thing? Because I keep saying they both work, they both being developed at AMD.
Here's the deal. Like, if we're not seeing the whole picture, which I don't think a lot of people are, if it's Xbox Series X, it's a series of consoles. If the Lockhart rumors are true, this is just one console. And the reason why it'd be so different in power is because Xbox is okay with a higher price system, because they're going to have 2 SKUs, right? They're going to be putting out 2 systems, a lower tier one, the Lockhart with 4 teraflops and a higher CPU, might cost $350, $300, $400, whatever it is. And then they get this monster unit. Who knows what the price is going to be? Because look at the specs. If this thing is way more powerful than the PS5, maybe we're not seeing the bigger picture, and maybe they're putting out 2, like I said, products for launch, and we're just not seeing the other one. So that's why there's a differential in power. I mean, that's the reasoning there, right?
Yeah, I understand that. But my thing is,
I'm going to wait.
Yeah, my thing is, I'm trying to see how is this. They can get all this information from the same company that's making the Xbox Series X. How is they getting all this information about the PlayStation, but we have none for the Xbox? Neither one of the box. If another box is coming out, we're getting nothing from them. And plus, they showed their console off first. That's what I'm trying to. I'm not saying that the AMD leak is not real. What I'm saying is I'm going to wait just like Craig, because I don't believe in it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatever that came from, wherever it came from, I don't care if it came from God. I'm not believing it until Sony said something or Xbox said something. Yeah, I'm lost for words, man, because
I believe Digital Foundry was talking about both, you know. So they talked about confirmation with both, and pros and cons, and they talked about the price of the console. Like, this is going to be costly, man. They talked about all of that. Like, if the Xbox is coming out at 12 teraflops with all this power, it's going to cost money, $500 minimum. Mark it down, dude. So if they hit it, it's just going to be $500, $600. Yeah. I mean, what if they come out $600? Because that's not ruled out, right? And then the PlayStation's coming in at $400. What system do you think the mass population is going to buy, right?
On that whole thing is the 2 SKUs argument. Remember, because Lockhart, we don't know what Lockhart's going to be and how much Lockhart's going to cost too.
Well, there's two SKUs for the PlayStation 3, and that didn't really work out in the beginning for PlayStation 3, right?
True.
And so I don't know. It's new territory,
So. Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I just don't. I mean, again, I understand that Navi's architecture is outperforming the GCN. So 9.2 to 9 point, and I don't think that number's true, by the way. I found it amazing that the same person that was talking about 9.2 T flops just today was talking about 10 T flops now. You know, it's just it's crazy. I mean, it's just these numbers are just flying in, and people truly do. And shout out to Foxy Games, like he said a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. People are really getting the performance mixed up with the brute force. They just are. I mean, and that's just reality. Like I said, the Navi 5700 XT or the 5700 XT with Navi architecture is outperforming the GCN architecture, and it's got bigger. It's got more T flops. The Vega does. So that is reality. That's why Lisa Sue walked out last year and was saying, look at all these performance numbers. And she was like, yeah, this is great. And people would start clapping because she was talking about it outperforming the old architecture. So if they can get lower yield, if they use lower yield to get better output, that's what this is going to be about. And the main difference will be, like you were saying, Big Money, is the PlayStation will have VR and the Xbox won't. That's the main difference right now. But all this thing with the multi-plat games, if Madden and FIFA are 60 frames per second, 4K right now, they're going to be 4K 60 frames a second next generation too. There will not be any differences. You know, you've already got confirmation of Hollywood-based effects in the PlayStation, which is a smart person's way of saying hardware-based ray tracing, because that's what they use. That's what Marvel uses. And this man, people are just going full retard. I got nothing for it. I'm taking it.
Well, I don't see how higher graphics can go, to tell you the truth, man. Like, I have not really seen anything that just wowed me in a long time, man. I know everybody keep talking about this fucking sinuous, whatever the fuck that shit is, man. It kills me how, for real, it kills me how Xbox guys didn't like that game when it first came out for the PlayStation. Either did the PlayStation guys, because we didn't even buy it.
Yeah,
but now they're so happy that those graphics, and I keep telling people that's not gameplay. They don't care. They say it's in engine. So goddamn, what is in engine? Like, what the fuck is that, man?
It reminds me of the whole thing. You remember at the start of this gen with Watch Dogs, the first one? Remember how we saw that? That was supposedly gameplay in engine.
Yeah.
And we never got there. Actually, no, that's not even a good example. I would say Deep Down. We never got deep down.
Witcher. Remember the Witcher?
Witcher, yeah, exactly.
Witcher. Never got that. Where's that at? You know, still waiting on that shit to come.
So
they swear up and down. That's how the game is gonna look.
Well, I just find it. I agree with you, Big Money. I'm just like I said, there's gonna be a lot of disappointed people. Okay, this is based on what I've been told. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people when these consoles come out and they're not even, I mean, hell, 20 years ago, IBM had something computing at 12 to 13 T flops. 20 years ago, you know, so, but I'm looking at things like just the way the consoles are going to be balanced and things like that. And it's just, to me, it's just a damn waste of time. You got a group of people that got no games to talk about, so they're talking hardware, and these damn guys have been talking hardware since 2016. You know, I'm still waiting to play Assassin's Creed at 1080p 60 on the Xbox Scorpio. Where's that at? I mean, I was told that was going to happen. You know, that's what I was told. Insider sources and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's man, yeah, it's got a. I mean, they now call this guy the Canadian con man. They are making fun of him on 3 to 4 different continents. Keep following that. Keep following that lead. You know, it's crazy. You know, at this point, what this is. But when you got no games to talk about, you're going to talk about speculation and specs. You know, they're not talking about games. They're not talking about Ori, the white rag that glows. Why are you not talking about that? You know, it's because it's going to be on a bunch of different platforms.
You say, Honey, I Shrunk the what?
Honey, I Shrunk the fuck nigga. I mean, you know, we're not talking about that shit. You know, I mean, at least I can look forward to The Last of Us Part 2 if that's what I want. Exactly. I can look forward to the baseball game if that's what I want. You know, they're not talking. I don't have to talk about specs. I get it. These guys have to. I've heard them say, well, if Xbox uses the power crown, then they're dead in the water, which contradicts every statement you just made when you got a chub in your pants when they bought studios. So what's it about the studios that you're buying, or is it about the power? Well, it can't be both. So that's why I can't go on their panels, because I would break them down. I would cuss them out in front of everybody. It's moist. This moist ass simps.
Oh God. Shout out to Dark Link for the $5 super chat. He said, "Afternoon fam and chat. Hope everyone had a safe New Year's. It's 2020. Let's get it, folks." Hey, shout out to you for the $5, and shout out to everybody up in here. 266 people. Let's get 100 likes in this chat, man. Shout out to you guys.
Hit that like button, y'all. Come on now.
Yeah, y'all lazy. Derelict in your duty. Hit that like button.
I had to have you say "honey, I shrugged the butter" because that's just funny as hell.
Yeah, I mean, they're not talking about that. I mean, or what's that game they showed that deer in the subway? Oh, what's that all about? I forgot. Well, it's going to be 4K. Yeah, I guess it will be.
Oh, you know what, Craig? You know what tripped me out the other day? I was over there with Next Gen and them. And D-Backs, as far as games, do you know what he quoted to me? He said don't
say it. Don't say it.
No. He said he can't wait for Flight Simulator.
Oh.
I said, get the fuck. I said, are you serious? He said, man, did you see the game? Oh my God, it's fucking amazing, man.
But he hasn't played it, so how does he know?
That's crazy. You know what? Honestly, I'm not surprised that he would say. And he would say something like that. I'm not even surprised that he would.
I said, D, are you kidding, man? That's what you waiting on for the Xbox Series X Flight Simulator?
I thought that was coming out this year. Man. That's available now. Microsoft has had a flight sim. Hold on, Microsoft has had a flight simulator game since 1996.
But that's what he's waiting on. He can't wait to play it on the Xbox Series.
And this is why they are making fun of him on 4 continents, because of statements like that.
Go ahead, Salty. Go ahead, bro. I know you want.
All right. Every time I hear someone hype up Flight Simulator, dude, I cringe harder than so hard, bro. Like, what console players were talking about flight simulators ever? Nobody.
Nobody.
Like, what are you guys going to do? Go buy like a $500 flight stick, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they were on sale, Salty. I mean, they were on sale for a month. They were $64. I'm talking about that big HOTAS.
Oh yeah, quote me. You have to quote me on this one too. I guarantee you, in the future, you're going to see Microsoft invest more. Like, it's how they have Xbox Elite controllers, and they have that whole custom controller option. Dude. Watch them come out with their own, flight controllers.
That's how you can see like if these dudes are fake gamers, man. Because all they care about is graphical fidelity. Oh my God, this is photorealistic. Yeah. I don't give a shit. It's still boring as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still Flight Simulator. I don't care what it looks like.
Dude, fucking CFDs could be.
But you can learn how to fly a DC-9, Salty. Just imagine you can learn how to fly a DC-9.
We're going to make a round trip. This is realistic. You're going to be in the cockpit for 8 hours of flight time. It's like, dude, get out of here.
Let me get this other super chat out the way. Shout out to JJB, $5 super chat. He says, "I'm buying PS5 even if it looks like a dildo. Fuck Xbox," what he said in the chat. Shout out to
Damn. I mean, I'm not buying that. People got mad at me. I was playing Elite Dangerous. I was complimenting the Xbox. I'm like, I'm not going to buy one, but I hope you all go out and buy 2. And people got mad in the chat. Well, it's going to be a beast, and it's going to do this. Like, you guys said that 2 years ago about the Xbox X. I'm still waiting on the
PS5 to be a pyramid. You crazy.
Yeah. A pyramid. I just wanted to have an LED.
Can you imagine?
It would look like a fucking pyramid. Oh my God.
Has a light coming out the top like the Luxor.
Oh my God, it's Anubis. It's Anubis.
That would be pretty cool.
Anubis is rising.
Yeah, but I just want to have an LED light. That's it. Show me if the PS5 has an LED light, I'll probably buy it day one.
No, well, let's get to this other news. We got a little bit time left here. Let's see, what was it? The new gesture system, PlayStation VR, supposedly is going to get a new gesture UI / AR user interface is going to be used. It's going to be usable for the Xbox and Nintendo systems as well. So I'm guessing this is for PSVR 2. What you guys think about this? They actually showed like the screen. They were showing out the picture, him doing like gestures with his hands, like gun animation, shit like that with his hands, and the pictures. And I'm guessing the console will pick up on that. Now, you guys remember a while ago, back in I think it was either 2019 or close to 2018, but there was a patent that I covered where it was a new controller that tracks your fingers. You guys remember that? For those of you that are old school viewers, you guys remember? There was a patent about that. So maybe this is confirmation that actually is indeed happening with PSVR 2. Maybe they did finally found a way to get the fingers to actually track for PlayStation VR, but let me know what you guys think in the comments right there in chat. Panel, what y'all think about this, the whole gesture system? It's something that was still on VR.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. No, I was gonna say, they're attempting to work with Keanu Reeves to make a John Wick game. He do a lot of hand maneuvers with the guns and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see how that comes up. And the Iron Man VR could benefit from it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm all about love in 2020, But at the end of the day, I think it'd be cool if they can get it to work.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys hear about the Tesla gloves that are like $10,000 for VR? Anyway, as long as yeah, dude.
I remember that. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, like I'm a guy that's not really about VR, but like if the closer they can get to reality, like if you're motion controls with your hands instead of using sticks or whatever, and then if they can get that VR headset less cumbersome, less wires, that's where I'm talking about higher fidelity VR, better quality games. Like imagine the possibilities, because like with these VR gloves, they're from Tesla, they give like haptic feedback,
Yes.
So imagine having that on like a glove, right? Haptic feedback. It tracks your motions and shit, like Pornhub. Imagine the possibility.
Yeah, salty. Yeah.
8K. I mean, sky's the limit.
8K titties.
That's
Ain't
right.
nothing like it.
8K titties.
No,
Full body suit.
You go outside.
Full body suit.
I'm off those crazy.
Hey, you know what? The only thing I've always stressed about, because I had got the PlayStation VR, I had sent it back probably about 2 months later. The only thing I'm worried about with VR, once they get the motion sickness stuff right, it's gonna take off, and they need to get the price down. What is that?
HT Vive.
What's the name of that? Yeah, HTC Vive, man. They got
HTC Vive.
Yeah, they got a new headset out for $1,000 man.
Really?
And once, like I said, motion sickness and price, once they get that down, it's going to take off, because it's going to be stagnant for a while, man. It's because of that price and motion sickness. I swear, man, I've said this a million times. When I used to put that headset on, man, like 10 minutes will pass, I thought I had the Ebola virus, man. It was that fucking fucked up. Like I really thought I was gonna die. Yeah, it's terrible. But it's a lot of people out there. You got to get used to it, because I never thought that you can get sick driving in a car. But apparently, a lot of people get sick just driving in the car, man. But you got to get used to it. You cannot play VR more than 15 and 20 minutes at a time, man. It's just it's crazy. I'm telling you, that shit is crazy. It fucked my stomach up. But that's the only thing I'm worried about. Yeah, once they get that down in the price, oh my God, VR is going to take off like crazy. It's going to take off like crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mega Dave or Mega Devil. He said to our super chat, he said Xbox is trash, gentlemen.
Well, I don't think it's trash. I think they have a trash.
The new
community.
Xbox is definitely not going to be trash. Just like the PS5 is not going to be trash. The thing that's going to determine whether that is trash or not is going to be the first party lineup of games. That's really what it's going to come down to. And Microsoft has a lot to go off of when it comes to that. Now they got, what was it, 15 new studios, right? 15 studios. 12 studios?
Yeah, 15 new studios, but you know what? The studios have to talk.
I'm saying, like, if it's like 15, 12 studios, then they got a lot to show. You know what I'm saying? They got to, like, really set that bar, you know what I'm saying? And keep that bar high in terms of quality when it comes to those games.
I mean, they have to provide the content that is willing to motivate people to actually purchase the console, and say, you know what, these games are actually creating that buzz that the Series X is a serious contender for this gen. That's where the kicker should be at for this gen coming up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I think it will be. I just think that I agree that Microsoft did surprise people showing their form factor, but I'm interested in gameplay, because when I found out that game that they showed was 24 frames a second, I get that it's for cinematics, but I mean, it just kind of was a buzzkill.
Are you honestly surprised by that? We talked about that again too.
This is why you need gameplay.
You need gameplay, but also remember cinematic stuff like that. It depends on what they're going to go for. Like I have that feeling you're going to have that option again, guys. Everybody in the chat, y'all want to quote me on this? We're probably going to have that option again where they're either going to prioritize one thing over the other, whether it be pretty visuals over performance. Now, if Sony's going this route where it's going to have a better CPU / a crazy CPU with the new SSD, then that means that Sony's going strictly off of performance. For PS5, they're going strictly for performance, and they're going strictly performance. And they get that $400, and they can do 4K 60.
Yeah,
that's a sell point right there. $399.
That's a PC question. If you go out, Big Cloud, and you get the 2070, okay, and you're running, I don't know, CS:GO, whatever game you want to, Resident Evil 4, you're running it at 4K native at 80 frames a second. All right, you're rolling HDR. You got it balls to the wall. And Carlos goes out and buys a 2080 Ti or 2080, whatever it is, Super, and he runs the same game 4K, HDR, ultra graphic settings, just like you are, and you both have ray tracing on. And he may have instead of 80 frames a second, he's at 92. Are you gonna sit up there and give yourself a chub over 12 frames? Because that's kind of which people are really looking at this point, is that you got two consoles that are, like you said, Big Cloud, 4K 60 on some games, not all.
Not all.
So people, and checkerboarding is going to be available. I think more checkerboarding will be available still. 1440p still going to be coming out. All that's coming. Dynamic 4K is going to still be done. So I just think you're going to have a lot of disappointed people, because I keep getting messages that I want 4K 60 on all my games. So you're going to be disappointed.
Well, one thing that has been proven, right, and we saw this with NVIDIA, RTX does what to performance, guys?
It
brings down the frames. It brings down
kills performance.
Anything. Even you might even get a little bit of stutter and freeze lag at times.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
RTX hasn't even been mastered yet. I'm talking when it butchers performance. If you're playing a game that you were comfortable with at 200 frames, you'd be lucky to play that shit at 30 with RTX mode engaged. That's
which is fine. I don't look. That's what I'm saying, is that if AMD has got another patented technique that works a little bit better than the NVIDIA one, then it cracks me up when I see people saying, well, these new consoles are going to be faster than a 2070. It's like you got two different companies, two different foundries. What are you talking about? It's like, what are you talking about? AMD is not NVIDIA and vice versa. It's retarded.
Nah, and to tell you the truth, honestly, a 2070, even a base 2070 does about roughly 11.3 to almost 12 teraflops of compute power, regardless.
So the performance, and again, this is caution people, the performance you're going to be getting is going to be close to that. That's just I really that people got to really understand that. I hope that and I really hope that I hope that the consoles do everything that they say. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm done talking.
Yeah.
Hey, Salty, what's your thoughts on this, brother? I know you and Big Money looking like, these guys. What's your thoughts?
Hold on, my mic was messed up. Yeah, so I've made my thoughts clear on ray tracing. If you guys look at videos it does significant hits on just the most powerful computers out there. And it'd be strange for me in a generation where we've had garbage frame rates and we've been in the 30s for the most part for the longest time, and then get to the next generation where we're getting a better CPU and we're finally getting up into the 60 frames per second range. And then you're like, nah, we're gonna turn up ray tracing and hit the frame rates, because they were showing, what was it, 2080 Ti playing Battlefield, the newest one, right? And they put it's like the beefiest computer you can get. Then they put ray tracing on, and I don't even think they bumped up ray tracing to the max. I think it was on medium or something. And they turned that bad boy on, and you just saw the frames drop in half. You know what I'm saying? So if they were at 120 frames, they dropped down into the 60s. Like, it's significant. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool and all, but it ain't really it ain't mastered yet. That's the thing. Hasn't been
the ray tracing situation in Hollywood. They have like server rooms to do their ray tracing. So are we getting ray tracing in the video game space? Yeah, but it's minimal. At the technology is just at the infancy stage. Like, yeah, you're going to see reflections off of, a water puddle or off a window and all this other stuff. But like I said, the hit is significant. So you're talking about your frame rates are going to drop, and they've shown this generation, with the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, that they're more open to giving gamers the option for performance or quality. Maybe they could give you the option to turn ray tracing on or off, depending on whether you care about frames or not. But like I said, even if you have 12 teraflops, the ray tracing that we're going to be getting on consoles, in my opinion, is going to be minimal.
Yeah,
I agree, Salty, but I agree with you, brother. I'm right there with you. I think we get some things, but not a lot. I agree.
My bad. Shout out to Jeremiah. He said that the 3080 Ti, rumor is gonna have. Yeah, the 3080 Ti is definitely gonna definitely cure some of the problems with that on their end for sure. But what's the price point looking like on that, Jeremiah? Let me know in the chat. I don't know the price point on that.
I'm not even gonna say nothing.
I don't even want to know the price point. What's the price like that on that?
CPU. That's gonna be one expensive GPU, my brother. You don't have to start selling body organs just for that to play that bitch. I'll tell you that much.
Donate sperm.
You don't have to give up something.
Oh God!
I'm gonna start giving out kidneys and.
So I got Fatal Charade also say he used RTX mode. I see you, brother. He said he didn't notice that big of a difference, but he did say it did drop as well. So okay. Let's get into this rumor, because we ain't got that much time left here. Let's get into this rumor that Sony was going to buy Bethesda. Appreciate Dominic for reminding me. There's rumor that Sony was going to buy Bethesda and their studios and IP, something like that. So I don't believe this to be true at all.
Yeah,
I don't believe it's true. This is up there with Sony supposedly buying Rockstar. I don't believe that to be true.
It's not. It is true in a sense.
I don't believe that.
Sony is searching. Okay, Sony is searching. Sony makes movies. People got to remember this. So one show that was very popular, and I never watched it, was something that calls itself Game of Thrones. And then there's another
Game of Thrones.
Well, it's about a toilet seat, for Christ's sake. A throne is a toilet. And then you have another show that just dropped on Netflix. It's popular with Henry Cavill, the Witcher series. So Bethesda, people got to remember, they make Skyrim and Oblivion. So Sony is wanting to develop something like that into a TV show. So imagine a Skyrim, imagine a Oblivion type of TV show, but
even
developed with some Fallout. That could be that may be an okay TV show, but they're just looking at stuff that could be episodic, like The Witcher, and which is sort of like Oblivion with monsters and stuff like that. So they're looking. People got to remember, Sony makes movies and TV shows. So they just don't make a console. They make TVs and all that kind of stuff. So that's all it is. It was just a meeting, and that's all it was. I don't even know how it gets blown up to something like this.
Well, they see Bethesda, they think games. This is what gamers were talking about. So,
Bethesda does have a parent company.
Yeah.
So they're just
Sony. You know what? Sony got so many IPs that can go move. The Last of Us. Yeah, God of War. We still waiting on a God of War movie. Like, God, they got so many IPs they can make into movies right now.
Reports of TV shows too. Guys, remember Sly Cooper was supposed to get in a TV show. I mean, I don't know.
And they're making a Spider-Man TV show. Apparently,
they got so much shit they got. It's like ridiculous. But as far as the Bethesda thing, them buying Bethesda, having them as exclusive to one platform. Let's just say they were to buy Bethesda. Do y'all have any idea how much that will cost them in terms first of all, if you're expecting even if they bought Rockstar, if they were ever going to expect to have the same amount of revenue that GTA 5 brought in this gen, right? And especially if it was exclusive to them, they would be ludicrous. It wouldn't happen at all. And them buying Bethesda would be the exact same thing. They're not going to bring in that same amount of profit.
They're not going to create a monopoly.
Same thing like Microsoft supposedly buying CD Projekt Red. Y'all remember that rumor that went around?
Oh!
And that didn't. That right there. So we went from that rumor for them buying CD Projekt Red to CD Projekt Red. What was it? Putting Cyberpunk on Game Pass? Wasn't that the thing?
Oh, was that the big thing? I didn't even hear that one.
It was it was like that. So so much going around, man. I'm like, I don't believe it.
But you know what I love about Sony, bro? Like, Microsoft went out there and brought all those studios. Sony bought one studio and shut everything down with that one fucking studio. Like, everything that they do is like with quality far as games. Now the rest of their company is up for suspect, but far as their gaming division, they are fucking top notch, man. Everything they do is about quality. Yeah. Like, I just love what they be doing, bro.
You talking about when they bought Insomniac games? You talking about
I was hearing, Craig, I was hearing for weeks on, man, we bought this studio from the Xbox guys. And as soon as Sony got Insomniac, I didn't hear from you guys.
Yeah, everybody got mad.
Boy, I mean, you gotta stop. You gotta at some point. You gotta stop. Yeah, you gotta stop worrying about what they say. I mean, they're crazy. So, but no, Microsoft again. It didn't match. Shake your booty. Say that they were buying studios to add to Game Pass, to put out Game Pass. And if they get a game that's going to be a AAA experience. I'm paraphrasing him. That's great, but they're looking for smaller IPs to come out of those studios, which is fine. I'm not knocking that. I don't want people to sit up here and say, "Well, he's trashing it." No. If that's what they're doing, like I said, I don't have an Xbox anymore because I don't care for the direction that they're going. So I have a PC. I'll do PC Game Pass, but I'm not going to buy their console to save my life. Well, to save my life.
There's another report too. I swear, I heard more reports of studios being bought than I heard anything else. Like during the end of the year, I noticed that even Remedy was supposedly going to get bought and shit. It was like crazy.
You know what?
Remedy's on a short list. That's all. Remedy, Housemarque,
console going in, man. Like, I don't understand that. Like, how can you reinvest yourself in the same product after 20 years? Like, where was those studios like 10 years ago, 5 years ago? Like, why all of a sudden now? Like, why are they rushing about all these studios now? Like, evidently they weren't worried about it.
Halo, Gears, and Forza. Halo, Gears, and Forza. Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Here's the deal.
What'd you have to say on it, Salty? Go ahead, brother.
All right. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Phil talked to Satya, and he basically called him up and said, "Hey, why are we still doing this shit, man? You know what I'm saying? Like gaming in general. Like, I don't see why Microsoft is in the game." And that was plain and simple because the writing was on the wall. You look at the budget cuts and you look at like 2016, it was bleak. And the reason why they didn't have the games and all they had was Forza, Gears, and Halo because they weren't investing in new developers because they didn't see the need, right? They were skimming by and it was going downhill. But then Game Pass was brought up as an idea, subscription service, a way they can get it because they want to make as much money and get it in every room. That's why they're talking about billions of gamers. So if you're looking at the identity of Xbox, it lies in the subscription service. Everything in Xbox's future is tied to Game Pass, plain and simple.
Pretty much,
they might be in the hardware business right now, but in the future they won't be because plain and simple, it's all about being that subscription service. Like
it's all about software growth. That's what they changed their metrics to.
Netflix makes their stuff, or that's why they bought these studios, is because they have to fill the product. If you don't have first party studios, you can't sell Game Pass. It's plain and simple. So they're going to do whatever they need to do to sell Game Pass. That's plain and simple.
But Netflix is on multiple devices. So let me ask you,
Something. That's what they're doing now.
Yeah, but how much longer do you think before this gets offered to, say, a Nintendo or to a Sony? Not that they don't accept it, but what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, they're warming people up, right? You can't be naive to what is happening. I mean, look at the process. They started Game Pass. They're exclusives, right? They're like, okay, we're putting these day and date. And then what happens? They start Xbox Game Pass PC, right? And correct. It starts spreading more and more out. And then what happens? xCloud starts. And then you start putting that on mobile phones. So at this point, yes, they still have hardware because they see that the hardware is important to get Game Pass out there. Now, if consoles weren't required, like let's just say that everybody was cool with the cloud's like, the bee's knees, they get out of hardware so fast you wouldn't even believe it, right? Because the bottom line is it lies within the subscription service. They want, if it was a perfect world for Microsoft, they would be a publisher, right? They would be the Netflix. They would be Netflix, but it would be Game Pass, right? Because Netflix isn't making hardware; they're putting their shit everywhere,
right?
So that's what their plan is.
Yeah, Salty, do you think this is the last console for Xbox?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It's based off of adoption rate, right? Yeah. Of the cloud. How's the cloud go? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. How do we know how fast that's going to be? Because if I would have told you, because me personally, going into this generation, I was all physical discs. Right. And then people were telling me about digital. I was like, nah, man, I don't even see it. But now I don't even own a physical disc for the Xbox. I do for PlayStation, but it's a different story, right? So my thought process has completely changed, and then the internet changes, technology changes. So where are we going to be in 5 years? I can't tell you. But like I said, financially, if it makes sense for Xbox to get out and no longer make consoles, they will. Because at the end of the day, they're all about Game Pass. And people ask me, well, what's Xbox identity? Their identity is one-on-one with Game Pass. If Game Pass fails, they fail. If Game Pass does good, then they do good. They'll invest in it as long as they see value in it, and that's plain and simple, So,
pretty much, yeah. And I said it before too. If you expecting I said before too. I can see that subscription going up higher. That cost, that price that you're paying monthly. I can see going up higher, especially we're talking about higher profile games. Remember we talk about the Salty higher profile games, and dudes want out like that. That will never happen. It's like, dog, it could. Why are we acting like that could not happen? That could happen.
The thing that I think it's funny is because Xbox Game Pass PC, you don't have to pay Xbox Live Gold to get it, right? You still get all the perks and benefits. Xbox Games with Gold has been trashed since they introduced Game Pass, right? But then they sell you on the idea of this Xbox Game Pass Ultimate as this ultimate thing, but in reality, it's like a pyramid scheme because in reality, they shouldn't be charging you for Xbox Xbox Live because it's double standards, right? Your PC crowd is not paying for the shit. Your games with gold are trash, but then you're charging people more for this Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but in reality, you're just kind of double dipping on people, Yeah. So that's their plan all along. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we still want to charge console players, but we got to call this shit something else. Let's call it Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah. They'll pay more, and then we still get more money, right?
Yeah.
So
you're saying how they making more money? It's like a lot of people keep bringing this up too. They made more money. What was it like during this year or last year than they did in any other year? And I'm like, well, again, subscription services. Yeah. Subscription services bring in more profit regardless. Dudes want to say Sony's going this route because Sony's bringing in the same amount of profit. But I'm like, Sony didn't charge you for online last gen. It's required now. You have to play PS Plus to play online. So again, plus they have a bigger install base with more users. It was like 95 million users on PlayStation Plus this time around.
Mm-hmm. My subscription is gone. But if anybody wants to give me a code I'll take it. I'll take
but
it.
I just don't get it. Like, I get it though. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, I just don't get it. Like, dudes they go out the whim for the most silly stuff when it comes to this console war stuff, and
that's true.
It's crazy. The reaching never stops. Really, it never stops. Let's see. I think I had one more topic. It was the legacy. Yes, PS5 legacy backwards compatibility. Now, Craig, Carlos, y'all are very familiar with this topic, are you not? We talked about this how many shows ago? Wow. A minute ago, we talked about legacy backwards compatibility with PlayStation 5 and PS4.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? We talked about this a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like
a rat's ass about backwards compatibility. It's like garlic mashed potatoes and no steak. So, I mean, it's good to have, but where's the meat?
It's not a necessity. Like, to this
point,
not
a necessity, but it's one of those things.
For me, it's not, because, like I said before, I got every single iteration of gen consoles, starting from the PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, the OG Xbox from 2002, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One. I have 2 Xbox 360s, as a matter of fact. And for me, backwards compatibility, I could care less about it. It's just a feature. It's something that is only necessary for those who haven't gamed on older hardware and would like to experience the older IPs on the newer hardware, which is a plus. It's something nice, but it's not a necessity to say that you have an advantage over the next console, because you have outlets like eBay, even Facebook Market Space, where you can find the older hardware and the older IPs for dirt cheap and still play them on any capable display. So it really boils down to just preference, in my opinion.
Yeah. But to go with what this thing is, backwards compatibility, legacy, full legacy backwards compat. So supposedly, according to this info right here, Sony's working on a remaster engine. Is that what they're doing? Something like that? Remaster engine? So
well, now, wait a minute. Take it with a grain of salt.
Take that with a grain of salt. But we're making a remastering engine for PS1.
They're trying to bring Emotion Engine 2.0 to the PS5. Ooh, good.
Yeah, it was like that. Remastering engine from PS1 games to PS5 or PS4. For PS5. Now, granted, we already know, again, we covered PS5. If the whole specification thing that leaked was true, PS4 games will natively work on the device, so that's really not the issue. But PS1, 2, and 3, more than likely so, would probably require something like this, like a remastering engine to get them on the system and actually work, natively on the device. So that's probably what's going to happen. You guys remember they're doing that with Xbox One X, right? They're remastering them for the console, and they look better, like a little bit more cleaner. So that's probably what's really going to be happening with the backwards compatible games. And remember, I said before, enhancement titles are also something that you can take into consideration. So you're definitely going to get enhancement titles in the foreseeable future when it comes to.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about that. If they're able to do, and I'm not going to say that they're not, because 2-3 years from now, some moist blue pill simp will try to say something. but do you think if they're able, let's just use SOCOM, because that's always very popular. If they're able to, do you think they'll be able to get a game like SOCOM, which is on PS2? I think it was on PS3 as well.
Well,
do you think that they'll be able to play better? Or have better
here's the thing: I've been hearing SOCOM was getting remade for PS5.
But take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But I've been hearing SOCOM's is going to get a remake.
Yeah, that's a rumored gorilla thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, what's up, man? Yeah. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Yeah.
I just snuck in here.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I didn't, because I mean, backwards compatibility. I love the wax nostalgia, but I mean, it's to me, it's like I said, it's like French fries and hamburger, however you want to call it. Steak and no barbecue sauce, or A1. So
I just A1.
Yeah,
it's all about A1.
Yeah, A1. That's fine. Yeah, or Heinz 7. Yeah. So I just find it interesting that it's garnering this much heat online, even though you got to quote take it with a grain of salt, end quote. So
all right, okay. I guess I'll ask everybody your price predictions, and then that'll be it for me personally. You guys can have whatever you guys want if you guys want to talk about anything else. But PS5 price prediction, what you think, Big Money?
$699.
$6.99. Oh God.
Well, hold on, big money. Don't. Somebody's gonna come back in about a year and be like,
it says six. It says $6.99.
Now, let me say, if it's really at the 9.2, I'm gonna say $3.99. I think they want to hit that sweet spot at $3.99 again. But if it's higher than that, I can see them doing about $500. If it's higher than the 9.2 so-called teraflops, it's going to be higher than $400.
Okay,
that's what
All right, Messiah, what you thinking? PS5 price point?
Oh well, I'm gonna say I hope. Shout out! I predicted this over a year ago. I hope it's $4.99, but be prepared to pay more than that. Okay. If it's less than that, great. If it's less than that, fantastic. But what is that? Somebody's they're washing their ass.
Oh, my bad. I thought I muted myself. I was shaking up my bottle of. No, I was shaking up my bottle of coquito.
That's cool. That's cool, brother.
That's cool right here.
My bad.
I hope it's cheaper than that. But I told everybody, be prepared to pay $5.99 if it's going to do all this stuff that at the time they were saying. So now that it's going to be capable of 8K support, 4K Blu-rays, people got to remember that's brand new for PlayStation. So yeah, be prepared to pay $4.99, and if it's cheaper, fantastic, great time.
All right. Before I get what's the name's perspective, Game Goons $5 super chat. He says you can bundle your Xbox Gold account into your Ultimate Pass. So you're telling me you guys wouldn't pay $14 for all of Sony's exclusives? I'm up.
Huh? Would you guys, I don't understand the question.
For Game Pass, if Sony ever had a Game Pass service, I'm guessing that's what he's referring to. If Sony ever had,
no, Sony's not going to do that. So no.
Would you pay for? Well, basically, he's asking you guys wouldn't pay for a PlayStation Game Pass type of service. Yeah, like
no, I'm not. They got that now. They got
they already have that.
Yeah, and I'm not paying for it now. So hell no, I'm not gonna pay for it.
I mean, you got PlayStation. What was it now, right? PlayStation now has that.
Yeah,
but they're only on there for like a limited time. They get recycled.
Yeah, and I guess today, really quick, God of War, Uncharted are back to being exclusives now. Because then they rotate off of.
They rotate off. Was like 5 months they're on the service.
Yeah, three months. Which is fine, but now
PlayStation made PS Now exactly like Game Pass. I would subscribe the second they do.
Yeah, if it was for $1, because
I'm talking about the day and date.
I would pay 10. I would pay 10.
For me, it's $1. I'm PO. Can't afford the O and the R. So I pay $1 like I'm paying for game. They gave that to me for $1.
Yeah. You know what?
Well, unless you're referring to day and date. Are you referring to day and date? Maybe that's what he's referring to as well.
He's talking about day and
date. I don't know if they'll do day and date.
No. Yeah, they said they're not going to do that. Yeah, go ahead, Miz. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, they're not.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. My bad. But yeah, they said I love it when the
fruit. What were you saying, Money?
Yeah, go ahead, Money. My bad.
No, let Craig go. Go.
I was gonna say, I love it when these moist simps got online. Well, Sony's gonna do it too. And then Jim Ryan, the head of that damn part of the company, said, "Yeah, we're not doing it." And then they still came on their podcast later that night. Well, they're gonna have to do it too. They're gonna have to do it too. Let this shut up. Yo, you haven't been right about anything,
bro. The thing is, right? Sony's in the business, Microsoft is in the business of making money. So they're going to find ways to actually attract people to their product, regardless of what these cornballs say on their podcast.
Cornballs.
That's just business 101. If something is enticing to the consumer, they're going to go for it. Regardless of how bad or how minuscule it might be, somebody's going to take a chance and try to place something out there just to say, you know what? Here's what we can offer. Are you willing to, jump the gun?
Right.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, man, I told myself that I wouldn't do this, but in reality, if I had got Spider-Man just came out and it's only $10, and then a month later, God of War 2 comes out and it's still just $10, shit, I'm going, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna pay. I'm not gonna lie, because I told myself, like, that fanboy part of me was like, no, don't do it. What are you doing? But tell you the truth, man, a lot of people would do that. Yeah,
you gotta be a consumer first, fanboy second, bro. That's just the way I see
but
it.
But understand they hate. I mean, the Xbox community hates. They hate the fact those games are day and date. They hate it like an afro hates a Jerry. Yeah, they hate it. They hate it like an afro hates a Jerry curl. They hate it because it literally overnight their console is not worth anything. It's like, well, I can just, when they put them day and date, they put them on PC.
Yo, we was predicting PlayStation 5 prices. How did we get here?
Oh, Ryan.
Do ask one question, and Craig went on his day. He went on his day of ballistics. But get back to that because you're pretty much done with that. Or done.
Yeah.
Meds, I don't know if you want to add any perspective. What you think PS5 is going to cost? $399, $499.
$500, my dundo.
$500. Okay. Salty. Price point.
$400.
$400. Okay. Carlos.
Yep.
I'll say $450.
$450. Let's jump this up one more time. Xbox Series X, big money, price point.
Oh shit! Again,
man, think about that one.
Yeah, if it is like they said it is 12 teraflops, they can't do no 400 for that. I'm thinking 6. They got to do around 6 for that. Yeah.
Okay. Craig, Xbox Series
zero for me because I'm not buying it.
Oh God.
So that's how much it's going to cost for me. For anybody else, I don't know. I hope that it does what you all want it to do. I hope because X didn't give it to you and all that other stuff. So maybe S will give it to you finally. I mean, I want you all to shut up about specs and actually talk about games. Maybe they can do that when this system comes out.
So I'm hyped for 2020, man. It's gonna be nothing but non-stop games, but we'll definitely get there when we get there.
I hope you're right.
It's gonna be there. We got too many. Meds, what you think? Xbox Series X. We know you getting that day one, so what you think?
Not getting that day one. Come on now. We talking prices?
Yeah, prices. Series X.
Okay, so this is actually contingent on my PS5 pricing, right? If the PS5 is 400, then this is gonna be 5. But if the PS5 is 500, like I think it will be, then this is probably gonna cost 600.
So you think it'd be $100 difference regardless of?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Salty?
Oh, sorry. My kid was talking in the background. Give me a second. I gotta bounce.
All right.
Right. No problem.
Carlos.
Let me see. I'll put it at 530.
530. Okay. So he going in the middle.
He went real off the rails, didn't he?
He going in the middle. Nah, because again, that 600 price point scares away a lot of people by default.
Yeah, I would rather have a middle point than an overpricing point. It'll make it much more easier for the consumer to say, price point. It's subjective, and if you put a $600 tab on something like that, wow.
Yeah,
a lot of people are gonna get pissed off, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not paying $600.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole reason with the series, why they put the X series, because they want you to see like, hey, this is high-end gaming.
Yeah.
And if you want high-end gaming, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. It reminds you of the Steam machines. Remember back in 2006? You remember those things? There was like 3 models: entry, intermediate, and then it was like high tier. So it's feel like that's the route they're going with the names this time now, though. So I'm guessing it's going to be Series S for small for the Lockhart, maybe.
And that one's going to be about 400. If that rumor is true, if they come out with the Lockhart, that's going to be about 400.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all.
We didn't hear what's your price?
How much you think it is? I did set my price.
Oh, did you? What'd you say?
For Xbox, all right, for PS5, I said $399. That's where I'm standing at. If the 9 teraflop thing is true. Xbox Series X, again, I don't think they would be stupid enough to launch at 600. I know a lot of people might say 600, but 500 seems more reasonable. They'll take a loss just to get it to 500. If they ever released a $600 console, and then let's say they did the Lockhart, Ain't nobody buying the damn Series X. Ain't nobody buying it.
Nope.
Well, you're gonna buy it, aren't you? You're gonna have all that stuff.
Ain't nobody buying no damn Series X. Let's be real
You're
here.
gonna buy it.
That Series X is gonna be ignored like the damn Holocaust, and everybody's gonna jump immediately to the damn fucking the Slim. Watch, you'll see it. That's just gonna happen.
Aren't you gonna buy it instead of the 2070?
What the hell I look like behind that?
Well, yeah, you buy it. You know.
PC Master Race all
You want
day.
to play the next Halo? You don't want to play the next Halo, Ryan?
We could
play that on PC as well.
There's so many to choose from. They all look the same. I don't know. You know what? I ain't gonna say it. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're not going there.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first RGT podcast of the year 2020. I want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for rocking out with us. It has been a pleasure to talk game with all of you. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Got 258 people here. Hit that like button, man. We do appreciate it. I'll definitely see you guys next week with the panel again. It's gonna be busy next week, obviously going on. So shout out to everybody in the chat again. Thank you so much. Everybody who super chatted, everybody who's been commenting, thank you. We do appreciate y'all. I'm gonna say shout out to Salty Gaming. He had the dip. Thank you for guesting. And I'm gonna let everybody do their outros. I'm gonna shut it down. Go ahead, Big Money. Got the floor.
Hey, what's up? This is Big Money. Make sure y'all come back next week, every week. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all, it's 250 some people in. Hit that goddamn like button, y'all. Come on now. Hit it one time before we leave. But this Big Money, man, let me thank Ryan again for letting me come on, man. This is my buddy. Oh, you know what? One thing I need to do, I know y'all going to be like, God damn, Money. But Typer 87. That's my boy. How you doing, brother, man? I have not talked to you in a minute. How you doing? You know I got mad love for you and your family. How you doing, brother? I have not talked to you. What's going on with you?
Nothing but headaches from work. That's all I can tell you, bro.
Yeah, man,
a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
I miss you, man. I ain't talked to you anymore.
I miss you too, bro. I miss you too. Don't worry. We gonna get to talk a little bit. It's just I've been hella busy like crazy, man.
All right.
That's it. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
All right. Messiah. Go ahead, brother.
All right, thanks for having me. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that asked good questions today. Good topic. Yeah, CES is, I guess, starts Sunday afternoon or Monday night as far as presentations. Everybody's, I guess, watch it and see what's going to happen. I certainly hope it's what everybody thinks it's going to be. And maybe we'll see PS5 stuff. Maybe we won't. But yeah, glad to be here. Starting out 2020. And shout out to everybody. Shout out, again, I saw a lot of people in the chat today. Don was here. Kid Smooth stopping by. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, shout out to Smooth.
Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Medj, my brother. I know you jumped in late, but go ahead, brother.
Hey, yeah, sometimes I like to jump in, man. Just keep you on your toes. You feel me? keep the Messiah in check just a little bit.
Well, we'll get you on there next week from the start.
And keep these moist simps at bay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But nah, yo, I just want to say, thanks to you and I hope everybody in the chat and the panel, had a great holiday, past few weeks, enjoy time with your family and all that, open up good presents, got lit, all that good stuff. And yeah, it's a new year and I hope that you guys get y'all shit together. And tune into my podcast actually Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on my boy Merc 305's channel, the Ultra Preset Podcast. Check my boys out over there.
Definitely.
And yeah, that's it, y'all. Have a great day.
All right. Hey, Carlos.
With due diligence, I must say this. 2020 gonna be litty, man. Nah. Man, just want to give a big welcoming to each and every single individual on this panel, each and every single individual in the chats right now, and all of the subscribers that have subscribed to everyone's channel. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for giving us the support throughout the past 3 years, and you have made the RGT podcast what it is today. Absolutely. I've been absent. Yes, it's been a while for me at times. It's just work, man. But 2020 is going to be a year where you're going to see a lot more on my podcast with my boys. and just having fun, just talking about topics and getting things sorted out. So 2020 to everyone and beyond. Gamer by choice, not by trend.
Absolutely, man. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, all of you be blessed. Y'all be easy. We'll see you guys next week.
One more thing, Big Cloud. Hold on, one more thing, real quick. Titanfall Princess had a law she tweeted out, and I just want everybody to know we're thinking about her. This evening. Yeah, she tweeted something out. Let's go to her timeline. I don't give away too much, but just keep her and her family.
I haven't talked to her.
Go out to her then.
Yeah, but I haven't talked to her since the whole thing. But I will say this: my condolences to her. Hope she lands on her feet, and hope everything works itself out for her. But to everybody else in the chat, again, much love, much respect. Same thing goes to her, everybody in the chat. I'll see you guys later. New year, new beginnings, new friendships, new endeavors, pretty much, right? So let's keep it moving, guys. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. Big Cloud Gaming, RGT crew, we signing out.